Hi there. This is David Oleski with the Rittenhouse Square 5 o'clock Club live presentation right here from the beautiful David Oleski studio here in Westchester, Pennsylvania. And I'm just finishing my day of painting because all of the members of the board of directors of the Rittenhouse Square Fine Art Show are actually working professional artists. And I am no exception. I'm here painting with the last of my sunlight, but I'm stopping now because I have a really exciting interview coming up here. So we're just going to leave this bustling little painting studio, and I'm going to head up to the David Oleski office, as it were. We are crawling up the spiral staircase. I always love coming up here. It's just like a little hidden hideaway within a hideaway. It's just few things compared to what I'm able to do here as a working independent artist. So just a little bit of lighting, a little bit of makeup, but not too much makeup. And here I go. And then see if we can get this set up right here in the little hoo-ha holder. Nice. That's just nice. Okay, and then we're going to have a new little segment here of what is the mystery beverage in David Oleski's Hello Kitty cup. The answer will be in the comments following the broadcast, so you'll want to stay tuned and see exactly what is it that David Oleski is sating his amazing thirst with. Oh, that's really nice. So we had our show just 2 weeks ago. It was a fantastic show. Thank you all for coming out. I did see our upcoming personality at that show, and that was a lot of fun. And, now that the dust is settling, we're, of course, busy at work planning the spring 2024 show. But all of the things that the board of directors can do during the year, as well as all of us as artists, are just getting back to work, getting ready for what looks to be a long, dark winter, but I'm sure there will be sunny days ahead. But in the meantime, we're going to just make the best of it. Yes, here Kate is on board here. First off, I'd like to thank the board of directors, Sharon Strine and Chris Bonomo, our director and chairperson, for their tireless work behind the scenes and right out on the front line during the event that helped to make it such a fantastic event. I'm sure everybody would agree that aside from a torrential downpour in the last hour of the show, it was a pretty stellar weekend. And we're all very thankful for the effort that they and the entire board of directors of the Rittenhouse Square Fine Art Association did take care of there. So here, I'm going to bring Kate on board here. And let's see, how do I do? Going live with Milby. Meet Kate. I've got some specific questions I'd like to ask her, but then everybody else, hopefully you've been doing your research, you've been looking at her stunning landscape works, and here she is.
Hey,
Hey, how are you?
good to see you.
Good to see you. So, well, first question, how do I pronounce your last name?
Fitzpatrick.
Fitzpatrick,
Yes. Yeah.
not Mayer?
It was Mayor,
It was Mayer.
but I got married last year. John and I have been together for quite a while, but we finally tied that knot.
Yeah, well, congratulations on that. A year ago, so I guess by now you're referring to each other as the old ball and chain.
You got that right.
So, how are you,
I'm
Kate?
great. Thanks. I'm really good. I'm enjoying some downtime actually after a long, busy year.
Yeah, yeah, the downtime is, we really enjoy our downtime
Yeah.
once the shows are over. I still have a few more shows to get through, which is why I'm so busy painting because it's really never over.
No, it certainly isn't. And I was hoping to get off the wait list for our month this weekend, but now I have a weekend off. So that's kind of unheard of. So
Well, I mean, a weekend off in the fall is
I know
pretty terrific too. I mean, the fall here in the Northeast is just spectacular. Even this early in the fall, it's nice to have a little bit of downtime.
for sure, for
Yeah, I have a
sure.
weekend coming up, and yeah, we're not sure if we want to actually do something or do just a whole lot of nothing. It's not like I will have nothing to do, but
Exactly.
regardless. So tell me, Kate, how long have you exhibited with the Rittenhouse Square Fine Art Show?
Well, I just finished my second time. So I've been doing art shows only for a year. And Rittenhouse in September of last year was my second show ever.
Wow.
So this past September was number 19 for me. I actually went back and counted because I was like, how many shows have I done now? And yeah, it was number 19. So, and as always, it was amazing.
So you really are hitting the ground running as a beginner.
Yes, for sure. You know, I'm one of those people that if I get involved in something, I'm going to throw myself into it 150%, just to make sure that's where I want to be, you know. So, yeah, I tried 4 last year. I unfortunately one got canceled. That was Williamsburg, and so I did 3 shows last year, and then I hit the ground running in Florida.
Oh, great.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So
Yep.
tell me, has your work evolved at all since you've been doing the shows?
Oh, for sure. Um, you know, I think that consistently our work should evolve, but being surrounded, you know, this, as you know, this is can be quite a solitary profession. So when you get to go to shows and get inspired by other artists, it only pushes, at least for me, it only pushes me to do better, to try something different or see something that I'm thinking, wow, I never thought I could do something like that. And that's amazing. So yeah, without a doubt, it's evolved. And I'm enjoying the direction I'm going, you know, and I just want to keep pushing to get better.
Yeah, I always feel like the shows kind of jumpstart your inspiration and motivations and ambitions and just keeps a candle under you and keeps you just, not only producing, which evolves the product, but, just realizing I can't just fall into the rut of producing what I do. I need to explore.
Exactly, exactly. So I'm actually working on an entire new body of work that's actually in watercolor, which is where I started a long time ago, and I'm kind of exploring that medium again on a larger scale. Very abstract, very different than what I do now.
Mm.
So I'm excited about that. We'll see how it plays out.
So your body of work up to this point has predominantly been oil paint.
Correct. Yes. Yep.
So, in reading your bio, you lived in Delaware and had a real strong influence from, say, the hills of Wyeth Country, and then spent time in Maine. My question is, how much of your work is from the field, and how much of it is the product of the studio as inspired by the field?
So the field, I don't necessarily, because I'm surrounded by water all the time here. I'm on the eastern shore of Virginia, so I have the bay and I have the Atlantic side. Um, the field, and I'm luckily for me, my studio is surrounded by 100-acre farm field, so I see nothing but open field. But I'm most inspired by the coastal landscape, the coast, the water, not just the beach, but the marshes, the ghost forests, things like that that you don't necessarily get to see. So my work is heavily involved in portraying those coastal landscapes in hidden necks and things like that. Pennsylvania, with the wide expanse of open space, always inspired me. And I think that's why coastal landscape resonates with me now. Um, I've become more abstract over the years than I was when I started out. Wyeth family was not far from where I grew up. So being surrounded by that type of work, those very monotone kind of colors early on in my life, I've kind of gotten away from. But I still resonate with it and I go back to it because of those, as you said, those fields. They still connect to me. So when I came up for Long's Park and back to Rittenhouse, I stayed out in the Coatesville area when I was at Rittenhouse, and I've started painting fields again. It's funny because the distance for me is what excites me. If
Right.
any sense at all.
Right. So how much, I mean, the sky is very different when you get near the water compared to like where I am in Chester County with the amount of forest that draws light out of the air. So the light has a stark, harsh quality. Just yesterday, I was in Lancaster and I was noticing, wow, there's a totally different light in Lancaster than just Chester County. And so how adaptive are you to the different qualities of light?
I think that when you get to those fields, you get this stark blue, you get this amazing blue. But when you're on the coast, you see a variety of different colors within that light, as you said.
Right.
And I'm trying to adapt to bring less color that you see, like peaches and off whites and other different blue hues, into my field work, and sticking with more of a cerulean color instead of an ultramarine,
Mm.
so to speak. So the color theory part of it really is interesting to me because that light changes so much even with through the day on the fields, but it's like you said, it's different.
Right.
It's more, almost more pigmented.
Right. How much of your work is done in the field as plein air work?
Everything. So
Oh, really?
a lot of people don't realize that. I start everything in plein air. And I actually bring a sketchbook. I brought it in. Unfortunately, we're not in my studio because I didn't have a
Hmm.
signal out there today.
Sure.
But I did bring my sketchbook that I bring to shows with me to show how I start. So when I work, I go out to the field, wherever that may be, and I will do about 4 or 5 different studies in watercolor on location. I will take photos because the light does change throughout that process, but I can spend a few hours out there, and then I'll choose one. I'll do maybe a tonal value sketch as well, and then those studies go on to an oil, small painting in oil. So, for instance, here's my sketchbook. So
Oh,
everything is in watercolor, and then
right.
do a value study maybe, and then it will attach itself. So here's that same painting, but in a 10 by 10 oil painting.
Hmm.
So once I do the study, then I dedicate that painting onto a larger canvas. I prefer painting big. I flow easier on big canvases than I do smaller ones.
Well, it's harder to hide behind mistakes. If they're done big, you have to address them.
Exactly.
Yeah. I
Exactly.
think working small, you can hide a multitude of miscalculations that it just, you know,
Yeah.
by size is not as important.
Yeah. Yeah, but so a lot of people didn't realize that in the beginning that I start everything in watercolor. So I still go back to that watercolor, and I choose watercolor to do my studies because it's quick, it's easy. It's very muggy here. It's very humid here on the coast, and dragging oils and all that stuff around is not for me. I want to be in and out and get what I want to get done. And then I take that, and then, like I said, I put it onto a canvas and oil in the studio. So,
I know some plein air oil painters, and for our viewing audience, plein air refers to actually working in the location live, in, you know, surrounded by, you know, the vista that you're capturing on a painting or a drawing or whatever. But that's what plein air means. And the plein air painters I know that drag along an entire oil painting kit plus hand wash and, you know, provisions and whatever you need, that's practically it's like a sport. I mean, the amount of stamina that goes into it and the amount of focus to just edit down everything to the one thing you're looking at and not all of, you're surrounded by it, but you're selectively editing down to one small thing. So you don't do that at all, or you have done that?
I have done that in the past, but like you said, it's like a sport, and I just choose not to do it. It's much easier with watercolors, and I can travel with that. Like I took my sketchbook and my watercolors when I drove up to Lancaster, so I actually stopped on Route 272 and caused a bit of a buggy backup because I'm out there painting quickly. Oh, I think I lost your. I can't hear you anymore. I don't know what happened. I'm sorry. I can't hear you. I can't hear you. Oh, oh, lost the audio. Can't hear you. Restart. Oh, there you go. Okay. How do I do that? All right, hold on.